When we're talking about alcohol and alcoholism's impact on society and the costs involved, we have to look at a few things. We have to look at who, what, where, when. When we're looking at statistical data, we have to go back all the way back from 1850. And when we're asking ourselves the question of the who, what, where, when, we have to look at what are some of the categories, what's the categorical data involved, and we have to look at some simplistic terms such as current drinker. What defines a current drinker? Well, a current drinker is one who has used alcohol in the past month. Binge drinking or binge drinker. The individual reports 5 or more drinks on one occasion. Then we get into the later stages of drinking. That includes the heavy drinker. A heavy drinker is an individual who reports drinking 5 or more drinks on more than one occasion in the last month. So let's recap that. A current drinker is an individual who reports drinking who has used alcohol in the past 30 days or the past month. Next is the binge drinker or episodic drinker, the individual who will drink 5 or more drinks on one occasion. And then lastly, the heavy drinker is an individual who reports drinking 5 or more drinks on more than one occasion in the past 30 days or the past month. So when we're looking at the statistical data, we have to look at the categories involved, such as current drinking, binge drinking, and heavy drinking. Just to give you an idea of what we're looking at, in 2004, the average American consumed the equivalent of 2.23 gallons of pure ethanol. Ethanol is the type of alcohol that is drinking alcohol. The other two are methanol and isopropyl. Methanol alcohol is wood stripping. It's the wood stripper. It's alcohol that is used for wood furniture or wood stripping. Isopropyl, we know it as rubbing alcohol. Ethanol, on the other hand, is the type of alcohol that is consumed among the average American, and so that is ethanol. So when we're looking at the data, we're looking at the 2004 data that says that the average American is drinking 2.23 gallons of pure ethanol. Now, when we're looking at data, there's also other categories involved besides the type of drinking patterns. We have to look at some of the demographic data, such as gender, age, race, education, and religion. So let's look at gender. The gender drinking patterns, we see that females are less likely to be drinkers than men. When it comes to age, we're looking at the proportion of current drinkers declining with age. So according to the data, as an individual gets older, their pattern of being a current drinker declines. And that could be for a variety of different reasons. I mean, there's so many different variables involved. One of them being that you have more responsibilities. You have a family, you have a spouse, you have a mortgage, you have more responsibility, at least in the initial stages of drinking. So when we're looking at race, in 2006, the data showed that in regards to race, these were the types of drinking patterns involved. Caucasians had 74% of the proportion of drinkers. Native Americans had 64%. Hispanics, 65%. Blacks, 60%. And Asian Americans, 56%. So based off that 2006 data, we see that Caucasians had the highest proportion of drinkers according to that 2006 survey. When we're looking at the other variables such as education, it's noted that the higher the educational level, the higher the consumption of alcohol. When we're looking at religion, we see based on the data from 2006 that the religious group that had the lowest proportion of drinkers were conservative Protestants. Roman Catholics, Irish Roman Catholics, had a higher proportion of drinker percentage than conservative Protestants, yet the highest religious group that had the highest level of proportion of drinkers was within the Jewish communities. Now, that's an interesting note because what I said earlier on a previous segment was that there's different types of categories when we're looking at alcohol current uses. And in this situation, we see that there are either ritualistic or convivial usages of within a culture. So again, we can't look at just one variable. We have to look at various variables that contribute to the higher levels of proportions based off of statistical data.